Hey y'all, it is June the 5th, 2020. Alright, I believe we're live on the internet. Alright, everything looks good. I came on a little bit early today because the plan was that if I come on a little bit early, that I can get done a little bit early and I can really take my time getting my stuff together as I get my day unfolded and then I go make some of that money. Alright? I want to start off on this page right here. Before people slide in, they probably don't know I'll be making it in so early. That's alright. It's been a while since I touched base with y'all. I can't say how long, maybe a few days, maybe close to a week. Alright, I know, what is it, Friday? Alright, well, and I appropriately titled this live stream the Holla At Me stream because that's what I would like, right? Just holla at me, and this is us touching base right now. I don't know if we have any definite, definitive direction that we're going tonight. All right, we might be going willy nilly a little bit tonight. But before we get into things, and especially if you're checking out the recording, this is InfoWarsStore.com. All right, I can't even say it hardly enough. And I do talk about Alex Jones. The thing is, he can get you all riled up. A lot of people don't want to be riled up. I don't blame you. All right. But there's certain things going on, investments probably that you should make. You're probably thinking about it as far as your health. You can't go anywhere better than InfoWarsStore.com. Here to tell you, all right? Not only because of the quality, which is amazing, all right, but the prices are stupid, dude. They're stupid prices. And it's like, for someone so poor like me, I can afford it, which is amazing. It's like, oh man, I can afford it because you're putting it on such crazy good sales. I mean, for example, you might have missed it, but I think they might still have a 60% sale going on right now. And those are real numbers. Trust me, they took the price down 60%. Right? Get in on it now because lots of stuff's going to sell out. Right? If you don't know, a little bit of inside baseball is that Alex Jones and them fellas over there and ladies at InfoWars, what it seems that they're doing is they're getting rid of a lot of inventory. I can only speculate, but it looks like from the outside that they're getting rid of a lot of inventory, a lot of these things that they're selling out of right now and have already sold out of. Trust me, I've taken a look. They've sold out of a lot. A lot of these things are not coming back for a while, unfortunately. And like I said, tip top, can't get no better, Harley. Can't get no better. In fact, I gotta say, just to start off the broadcast, and it is gonna be appropriate, I don't want to talk facts and figures too much, all right? But that's not even what this is about. But I got some money in, right? From the mail. It was Trump bucks, all right? And y'all have probably gotten Trump bucks out there. Mind you, the Trump bucks that I got were severely reduced because of child support. And it was interesting. I suppose now I'm all caught up on every last month, and that's pretty. I don't know if that feels a certain kind of way, but it's like almost as though I accomplished something. Even all those months that I was unemployed, all those months are all paid up. Everything's paid up on the child support. They let me know that, and they slid me some of those Trump bucks, and I got some, right? And so it's not as much Trump bucks as most people out there has gotten, but God bless y'all. I don't mind. I'm not jealous of people. I'm happy for people, and I want them to make some investments out there. So Lord knows a lot of people have already spent their Trump bucks. See, there's one person up in the building. We're about to get into it, and we are going willy-nilly. We're not going to spend all day on InfoWarsStore.com, but just to let people know, fair warning, just because I feel bad if I didn't tell you they're having this crazy sale, I took advantage. I think I spent I got Trump bucks, so I'm not going to say how much. It was severely reduced, but it was whatever. And I got Trump bucks, and I was like, okay, what do I do with this? And I spent about $189 up in the InfoWars store. Now, the thing is, like I said, I basically bought everything 60% off. I don't know if you believe it, but I've seen the numbers. And I would have wound up spending a good $300 on what it is that I bought. And it would have been worth it at $300. It would have been tip top, the best that you could possibly buy. As far as vitamins, supplements, and things of that nature. I forget all what I got, but I'll let y'all know. I'll do an unboxing. Here's the thing. Get in on it while you can right now, because it's not going to last. What I picture and envision, now I could be wrong, is from here on out, because of the chaos, because we're coming up on the election, because, time's running out on all these sort of things. What they're going to do is reduce their inventory by a lot, get rid of a lot of the things that, because they don't, inventory is just liabilities now and stuff, and they're going to hold on to some certain things to include turbo forests, all right? Which, by the way, I've heard all sort of people all over the map, all over the flat earth or whatever it is, talking about turbo forests, dude. All of them, especially truckers, Hispanic. I heard some guy from Puerto Rico the other day, black people, white people, Chinese people, all getting down on the turbo forest, and you gotta ask yourself why. We're not gonna spend too much time on all the various discounts that you could get, and just the stuff is really running out, and you're not gonna see a lot of this stuff pretty soon. But the turbo force that gets everybody, and everybody's getting together on that turbo force. And might I just say that before we move on, I don't know if you see the energy drinks out there. Maybe you drink the energy drinks. I work in a certain place that has a lot of men, right? And they overnight, right? So they want to get the energy drinks. Lots of times, I see it all the time. And lots of times it looks like they're drinking slime from Nickelodeon. Back back in the late 90s or early 90s. It looks like they're drinking ooze, like chemical ooze, but it gets them all hyped up. And so, what they realize and sometimes don't realize is it's terrible for their health, and it actually, whether or not it makes you obese, it'll give you different certain side effects that maybe you don't even correlate with the energy drinks that you're guzzling down by the pint. Instead, you could get Turbo Force, and I'm here to tell you that will get you all gassed up. In fact, do not drink the whole packet. They come in packets. Don't drink that whole packet. Don't do it. Especially on an empty stomach or something, dude. You'll go crazy. And I did that one time, right? At work. I got all gassed up. I didn't mean to do it. I had to walk outside for a little while, and I was like, damn, I can't believe it. I think I want to run. I think I want to run around. And it was in the middle of the night. Turbo Force, right? That'll get you. Plus, there's other things. Now let's move on. I don't know what you want to get into, but of course this stream is called Holla At Me stream. So if you are indeed watching and you want to holla at me, it is encouraged, all right? We're going to see if we can power pack this whole thing into 1 hour. And that's what I always say. That's what I always want is 1 hour. But sometimes we got to elaborate on things, and sometimes we get sidetracked. But that's what we're aiming for, I think, just because an hour is a good amount of time, all right, to get settled in. And also, it's not us lingering. I don't have time to linger. Like, for example, talking on the phone, typically for me, my whole life has been, and I looked at it, a minute long, a minute 30 seconds, a minute 45 seconds. And this will be with my mom, dude, or whoever, all my friends and everything. I don't hardly ever talk on the phone, because the reason is I want you to get straight to the point. We got to get down to the nitty gritty. It's not because we're having a heart attack or something like that, or we're freaking out. It's not really that, but it's like, who has time? For everything else, we gotta get down to the nitty gritty. What are we really talking about? Alright? And that's gonna take what I would, if I had to venture a guess, it's not my monologues and stuff. And I know some people enjoy them, but it's not me coming on talking about just what it is I'm thinking, what it is. More so is two people or more come together, as described in the Bible, or something like that, coming together and sharing their ideas and bouncing them off each other as hard as they can, all down to the nitty gritty, like not even holding anything back. I'm just going to say what I want to, and if it hurts your feelings, then it's probably that you're not cut out for this. But a lot of people are on the whole political spectrum, the whole religious spectrum, whatever it is spectrum, do not care. We need to get down to the bottom of it. And I do want to discuss that. Before we go onto Google, perhaps we'll go onto Google for some ideas. I see there's two people up in the building. Appreciate it. Oh, and we got something from Four Corners Report, which I bet you Four Corners Report is going to go on live probably tonight. That's what I would guess. A little bit later in the evening. And so right now there might be perusing the internet. I definitely shout out to Four Corners Report. And I do want to get on with them one of these days and see what it is they're talking about, but I don't know if they know what I mean, and I really mean it, as far as like, yeah, we can BS around, yeah, we can crack jokes, yeah, we can crack jokes on each other and stuff, and just have a good time, but meantime, getting down to the nitty gritty, what's really important, I'm not talking about to the world necessarily, but what's really important to you on your mind right now. And the reason is because I happen to know that third party spectators out there would love to hear about it. They want to hear what's on your mind, and it does not even matter. Does not matter what it is. But what does matter is that you get down to the nitty gritty. All right, that is the whole point. Don't waste people's time out there. All right, because I don't think we even have much time to waste necessarily. There's a lot of things that we could talk about tonight, I'm sure. We're going to take a little peek at Google for whatever it's worth. And good day to you, Four Corners Report. That is just some InfoWarsStore.com, and I do suggest it. They're having a blowout sale like you would just not believe, and you're going to totally miss it. And I forgot, their strategy should be this. I don't know if it is going to be this, but InfoWarsStore.com, their strategy should be this: reduce your inventory by a lot, and you're going to save on money a little bit as far as warehousing and whatnot. Reduce it down because it's kind of a liability. Take all of your products, which are on tip-top quality, and sell them for 100% of the price from here on out. Because you might as well. We only have like 150 days out to the election, and all calamities breaking out, technically. And so, as far as your inventory, you shouldn't be too worried about it. You do have a reputation, and they do have a reputation for having tip-top quality. And if you do come back with some of your products, people will gobble them up. It does not matter. You've given everything that I can't believe how much Alex Jones has given, personally. I can't even believe it. And some people wouldn't even believe it, but I can't believe how much they've just given and given. Of course, you could go and take advantage of their sales, which I do. I do it because I don't have no money, all right? But whatever money I have, I want to get that tip-top quality sent directly to my door. All right, you could do that, and Lord knows Alex Jones has provided so many people like myself to do that. And then there's people out there, and I've seen them in like for example, the super chats and stuff like that, and they'll be laying down like $100 bills, and it's like, dude, I don't know what job you have that you're coming into chat rooms and stuff and laying down $100 bills and more. I've seen more. And people going in and just putting down all these donations. God bless those people. I don't know what kind of jobs they have, but that blows my mind. And meanwhile, I go to InfoWarsStore.com and I take advantage of their sales. And in a sense, I do support. I mean, it's a little bit, but it does support, I can imagine. Because they need the support, all right? We're about to get down to the nitty gritty. A lot of people don't believe me on that. Hey, you don't have to believe me. But at the same time, I told you about the sale. So if you don't take advantage of the sale, there's nothing I can do for you. All right. And I love you anyways. San Antonio anchor Leslie, we're going to just take a peek. And I bet you nothing's going to be significant. I do have one thing in mind to talk about. For example, if you wanted to skip ahead on another window, you could. If you just type in San Antonio, certain news will pop up just directly at your face and slap you in the face. Just type in San Antonio, and we're about to get to that particular news before we get out of here. But meanwhile, they're talking about right here on Google, San Antonio anchor Leslie Moutone parts ways with KSAT 12 like anybody. Who could care about this? After about 2 decades, oh, God bless her. Thing is, you're getting a little bit older. You might want to retire. You might want to take care of your grandbabies pretty soon. And that's what I would want for you. God bless you. That would be ultimate success. Right? Is that news? I don't even know who this lady is. Might have seen her. I don't know if I've seen her. It doesn't matter. 2 decades? Dang it. 6ix9ine reunites with academics for cringe boxing fight and Pop Smoke praise. I see there's 3 people up in the building. Feel free to holla at me because that's what this stream is about before we get out of here. We're trying to have a power pack session. I know other people are going to have their live streams to include Four Corners Report probably. And I'm just going to get in here and get out. I want to be out, say, by 9 o'clock-ish Central Standard Time. We're going to make this an hour-long broadcast. Certain things I might want to talk about to include Tekashi 6ix9ine. The other day I was talking about him too much, and I was actually real tired, and it carried on and on and on. I don't know if I really got to the point. It's hard to get to the point. I wonder what people know all about Tekashi 6ix9ine. And I wonder if they understand me when I say there's nothing necessarily exemplary about Tekashi 69, and he shouldn't be anybody's role model necessarily. But at the same time, he's like some sort of prism. He's some sort of weird symbolism. He's like a hologram made out of symbolism, all in our face, and he's a mirror of us, right? And it's very wild. But anyways, I don't know what it is, but he's some sort of publicity. People love to hate Tekashi 69, and that is the point. And we're gonna talk about that maybe in a second, but let's just check out whatever else Google has to say about us. They're the enemy publication, and that's for sure, and everybody knows it, and there's nobody has any confusion about it. Laura Ingraham responds after LeBron James. Oh man, we got on Rabbi Brenda. That's the co-host. It's a little bit. She's not late actually. She's right on time because actually we're early for this broadcast tonight. As I explained probably way in the beginning of the broadcast, I want to get in, get out, and see if I can have a little bit of extra time to get ready for other activities that I venture out in, to include being essential and making that money, paying bills. Laura Ingraham responds, God, thank God for all of it too. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who their voices are going unheard right now, who are struggling, straight up struggling. It's because of the government. It's because of their tomfoolery, because that's why they're struggling. Laura Ingraham responds after LeBron James publicly called her out on a powerful on a powerful tweet. Gosh, dude, I wish I could take that and frame that. Oh man, one day, there's going to be one day on Earth where nobody's talking about powerful tweets. System of a Down drummer, Trump is the greatest friend too. Dang. Well, that's interesting. I don't know what they're talking about. He might be talking about billionaires. Or they leave it ambiguous. I don't even want to really see this video. And we're not going to see it, but I bet you it's going to buffer anyways. But I want to know what they're talking about. Greatest friend to who? What is he saying? I don't want to experience buffering.
Hey, it's Tony with the latest rock news. System of a Down's members have had some differing takes on the current protests in the aftermath.
Who knows what they're talking about? See, like, System of a Down, and they're a good example. I don't want to spend too much time, but all your musical favorites and mine, who cares what they think? Whoever cares what they think politically or socially about anything? They make good music, and we appreciate it. We appreciate them for that. System of a Down has a place in my heart. I can't take them out. All right, their jams were off the hook. All right, now they can't hardly put an album together because they can't come together. They come to, and it's so weird. How do you come together for concerts? Why? To make that money, and then you can't even go back and make an album because y'all don't like each other apparently. And meanwhile, it's none of my business, and like the news tells me about it anyways. So, being that they're like largely, I guess, politically minded, could they perhaps have a riff on Donald Trump? I don't know. Maybe someone out there will get down to the bottom of it if they're riffing about Donald Trump. I don't want to do any buffering, so I'm going to skip that. I don't think it's important as far as our musical favorites, and I have a number of them. They don't have any damn sense. So, oh well. Melania Trump's messaging frustrating the West Wing, source says. That doesn't matter. Check this out. Governor Abbott calls for Bexar County GOP chair to step down after... Dang! Oh, gosh, dude. I don't think we have time for any of this drama. I don't think we really have time for it. This lady who we're looking at, that's San Antonio News. I believe her name's Cynthia Bram, if I'm not mistaken. And she's a GOP chair. And the other day I saw her actually, and she's spitting hot fire, and I mean it. And I was liking it. I was gobbling it up. Now Governor Abbott seems to, and this may not even be true. Lord knows Ken Five is a liar. So they might just be trying to stir up drama. Meanwhile, it's about something she said. Oh, I wonder what she said. Oh, was it the truth? Did it hurt your feelings?
Developing now, Governor Abbott is calling for Bexar County's top Republican to step down. In a since deleted online post, she claims George Floyd's death was staged. Let's go to my colleague Aaron Wright.
I wonder what was her quote?
Sharon, Governor Abbott says Bexar County Chairwoman Cynthia Brim's post is, quote, disgusting and have no place in the Republican Party or in public
You're
discourse.
disgusting. How about that for drama?
Brim asked for her friend's thoughts on a theory that Floyd's death was a staged event, apparently to drive opponents of President Donald Trump. There is no evidence to support that claim. Floyd, a Houston native, died.
So dumb. So meanwhile, this is San Antonio local news, by the way. God bless them. I don't know what their names are, and they could work for San Antonio for 2 decades, and I still wouldn't know what their names are. And they're talking about this, whatever drama. Of course, they're trying to put drama in the Republican Party. Isn't it obvious? But the point is, and for everybody who's out there in a like-minded state of mind, the point is she could say whatever she wants, right? And it wouldn't matter how she stated it, but she did state it in a way that was just asking a question like, what do y'all feel about this theory? What's going on? Oh, she can't say that? She can't say that? It's part of what, hate speech? We don't have free speech? No, that's the whole point. She could say whatever she wants. I don't know what Governor Abbott said, and that's the thing. Y'all so disgusting. It's like, okay, why would I ever listen to it unless I heard it from Governor Abbott's mouth? And I'm aware of deep fakes. So I don't care what you're saying or who you are, what your name is, and you're talking and stirring up all this drama on this lady, Cynthia Bram, who I quite clearly saw with my own eyes spitting hot fire the other day, right? So you must be tricking somebody out there, but it's not me. Woman causes uproar with unacceptable photo of breakfast plate. What? Oh my God, I don't even know what that means. I don't even think I want to know what it means, but hold on. Woman causes uproar with the unacceptable photo of breakfast plate. This food is a crime. Whatever. To get paid $20 per fish when you catch this species of the Colorado. I don't know why they're telling me about that, but armed group guards Alamo cenotaph to prevent further vandalism. That's right, rampant vandalism. Disrespect. Just to be short, disrespect to San Antonio, to the history of it, to his culture, and you already know by who. You already know by who. And so some people thought, hey, maybe we should guard this with guns. I thank those people and I appreciate those people. I wish I could be those people. But thank you to those people out there. God bless them. I spent 2 weeks wearing a face shield instead of a mask, and I'm never going back. Business Insider. You know what's interesting? I don't have it right here for us to look at, but okay, they said this about whatever. It is beyond ridiculous, all right? This is special education 2.0, all right? This is something else. This is something else, okay? But I do happen to know that Business Insider, I saw an article from them the other day that said, hey, all those theories about Bill Gates and stuff, and he wants to shoot you up and all this, those are false, and we're Business Insider, and it's just propaganda. Dave Chappelle educates hecklers on police brutality and black... Oh, man, I don't know what it is. He educates heckler on police brutality. I don't want to know what it is. Google is nonstop stirring up drama, and that's the only thing that it is. Texas Ranger statue removed from Dallas airport over racism concerns. All hell is spilling out. We might not see it, and I hope that you don't see it. I'm not seeing it when I look out my back door. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing a sunset, actually, literally. And I'm seeing green plants in there just doing what they like to do. And birds are chirping. I don't know if you could hear that, but all hell is spilling out, all right? Just as predicted. By who? The Bible? I don't know. A lot of people said this. And it's definitely what we're going to address tonight. And I'm going to keep an eye on the comments just in case, because I really want to know what's popping. I want to know because Google is definitely not telling us. They're not going to tell us what's really popping. I'm going to have to get it out of them. I'm going to have to waterboard Google. I'm going to have to waterboard Google, all right, to get it out of them, the information. No, I'm not talking about people. Jeff Bezos responds to Amazon customer who was angry over Black Lives Matters message. Who could care less? Tools and tips for freezing food. Yeah, I want to know about that, but maybe not on the broadcast. I'm sure a lot of people are doing a lot of things. I keep getting glimpses of, for example, Chase the Patriot out there. That's my big brother and stuff, man. He's doing it for people, who really want to do it. I see that he has a garden out there, and it looks fantastic. I think he's over there in Colorado. No, not Colorado, California, which is even better. I mean, when it comes to planting, California really is the place that you'd want to be. Give it up to California. For that reason, maybe a couple other reasons, but hardly any other reasons. All right. There was a couple things that we wanted to address. And I keep failing to make this video montage, but there's definitely going to be a time when I get around to it. Of course, I've been trying to lay breadcrumbs as far as the Tekashi thing goes. Now, as far as the Tekashi spotlight, it's not. I gotta stress on you, it's not even about him specifically. You could put it on anybody who's like what you would call a cult of personality. Way back when they were jamming that song by all those black fellas, they were jamming out so good. And I can't believe that they only played that song on the radio. That was messed up. I didn't appreciate that. So they had that song, Cult of Personality. That's beside the point. I'm just saying what they are prisms of ourselves. And if we ever spend time hating them directly, we will be hating ourselves, and there is no getting around it. That is the easiest way to explain it, right? And interestingly enough, so many people hate Tekashi 6ix9ine that it made him fabulously rich, right? And he has the receipts, and he can prove it. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, except to say, man, if you take a focus on him, you can see that he is, in fact, a prism. All right? He's gone through all this drama, in and out of jail. He came out of jail, and already people had hatred in their heart for him back then. He was doing all these things that undoubtedly were wildly criminal, all right? And it's hard to say that they weren't immoral at the same time. Doing all these things, carrying on. And meanwhile, God has his hand on Tekashi 6ix9ine. And you might ask yourself, well, why is that? How is that? He wants to show us something. That's what this is all about. This whole thing that we're experiencing with this Corona stuff, which we'll talk about that in a second, is all revelation. Every last bit of it. And none of it technically is, our efforts aren't going to reveal more. Our efforts, I think, like certain efforts of ours are valid and legitimate, and we should continue doing them just because humans have been doing them our whole lives, to include hunting and gardening and stuff like that. Raising a family. I think we should continue to do that. Alright, but there's all sort of change going on, and the change that's going to go on, we cannot stop it. It's going to happen, right? Some people would debate, well, whether or not we should even be on the good side of things, or the right side of things, or the wrong side of things, or does it even matter? Some people get all black-pilled, or they go even farther and get maybe, what's that, nihilistic? Okay. No, I don't think we should. I don't think that's our instinct anyways. We need to, in a sense, fight against it, because it is so wrong, because it is so perverse. Because it does want to destroy our children, all right, and our progeny, and the earth. We should do the right thing in the face of that, even though the change is going to happen. It's going to happen, right? And the reason it is going to happen is simply for our revelation, so that it's revealed to us, so that we have more of a grasp on what the hell is going wrong with all this godless stuff out here. Okay, so Tekashi 6ix9ine, although I'm sure he does sport crosses at times, I'm sure he does. If you ask him what religion that he comes from, he may say Catholic, which would just be typical, coming out the Bronx or whatever. He's Hispanic. I don't know if he would say that or what he would say. And I'm not saying that I hold him in some sort of esteem that's up above anybody else. But at the same time, I've seen Tekashi 6ix9ine himself state quite clearly that he's above nobody else. There is nobody who's less important than Tekashi 6ix9ine. It's just that he makes all sort of money. How? Through people's hatred, in a very literal sense. And he keeps reaping the rewards of it, and it's going to continue to happen. And meanwhile, he shouldn't even be in the news, and I think he would even agree. Why is he all in the news? And it's because the news means to mislead us. The only reason we even know about Tekashi 6ix9ine is because the news seeks to mislead us. Not only to mislead us, but to incriminate us, period, point blank, period, no matter who it is that they want. And they're all completely fake. And we don't know who their names are. Those news anchors don't know what their names are. And they're here to incriminate us. And that's it. Whoever it is that they want to incriminate. To include and especially Tekashi 6ix9ine, right? And recently he's come out We're not going to spend too much time on him, but he came out for Black Lives Matters, right? And said, we got to do the Black Tuesday thing or whatnot. Some people might say, well, he's kind of brainwashed. There'll be people out here get kicked off of YouTube, say, oh man, he's kind of brainwashed into believing in this, the separation, basically, a divide between races, a racial divide. Some people don't believe in it, right? And none of those people believe in Black Lives Matter. Some people, God bless them, could be very good people. They do believe in it, right? And they do believe in the Black Lives Matters, right? But that's yet another example, and it's day by day examples of just what it is. He's a prison. He's so very ambiguous because technically Tekashi 6ix9ine, although he runs all his business, and he does, technically he does not run his own personality. And might I add and point out, neither do we. Alright? So it's so weird to think, and you look at Tekashi and it's so apparent. And you think to yourself, wow, well, he can't even control his personality. He can't control that. So why are people hating on him for this? You might say, oh, what about the crimes? You mean all the crimes he went to court for? In our justice system? And in front of everybody's face, he's out of jail now? And so you're going to blame him for that? How are you going to blame him for that? There's certain people out there that we almost want to dislike or whatever. Some people want to have hatred for him. He literally went through court for all these things that you're talking about and came out. So what else do you want from him? Right? Meanwhile, if you're looking for him to be a role model, that doesn't really make sense because you're probably not out doing all the weird bad things that Tekashi 6ix9ine is. But however, he cannot control that. And as we've discussed, he's got like a humbleness about him. He's of the people. It's really of the people. He'll really come down into a crowd with you. Alright, and with the mask on, everybody wants to call him a coward. I bet you he comes out if we ever have concerts again, which we may or may not ever have concerts again. I'm here to tell you, we are in the middle of a change. If we do, Tekashi 6ix9ine will have big ass concerts, alright? He'll make a lot of money in everybody's face. Alright, and meanwhile, the system will seek to tear him down and destroy him. Right. Before we get on to the meat that I wanted to do, and I wanted to get on to before we get out of here, and I want to make sure I got some allotted time for it. I've seen a lot of things on YouTube talking about a lot of drama that we don't even have time to bring up, man. Just know that there's a lot of drama going on. And hopefully you're straight chilling and you're not experiencing the drama at this point. And if that is the case, there's reason to breathe easy, obviously. Especially for us, I haven't had that case as well, and so there's never a point to panic. But however, yeah, drama's popping off all over the place, right? Meanwhile, if I type in San Antonio, like I said, all I gotta type in is San Antonio, and if you haven't yet, it's gonna be gruesome, and I want to give you some warning. Gonna be gruesome. But like I said, before we get into it, as far as the Tekashi thing, and it goes for you too, and it goes for me, they're out to incriminate us. Yes, the mass media. Yes, the local news. They're here to put the shaft to you, put you in jail, and have everybody believe that you're some sort of person if you're, and no matter what you do, right? And that happens to Tekashi 6ix9ine. We got to get that out of our mind, because even in my mind, even though I've been thinking about this sort of stuff, or I haven't been thinking about it, but the thoughts have been going through my mind. Even though that's the case, you could find, it's almost like human nature to be like, oh, that person, I don't like what they're doing. I don't like that person. See, that's a slippery slope right there. It's a slippery slope. You go from, I don't like what that person's doing, to, I don't like that person. And I don't know if we even have to take that second step. I don't know that that's the case. In fact, I don't know that that's practical. And in fact, I think that might shoot us in the foot. If we keep doing that, oh, I don't like what they're doing. I don't like them. I think that's where we put the prison around ourselves. And the prison's going to become very literal pretty soon. And we're going to build it. We're going to build a wall around ourselves. If we keep carrying on like that. And Tekashi's very good at coaxing that out. He's so good. He's world class at coaxing out somebody's feelings. It's awkward, right? But if I type in San Antonio to Google, all right, get ready. It's not good. I know there's a lot of drama going around. I said type in San Antonio, Google. Dang. Ruining the broadcast. They're meaning to. They're sabotaging the broadcast, all right? Oh man, there's one thing that I meant to bring up that I didn't. All right, as we come to San Antonio, check this out. It pops right up. All right, just type in San Antonio. If you haven't seen this headline, I'll give you a second to peruse it. And there's like copied and pasted. Just like KSAT 12. We got San Antonio Express News. George Floyd. Oh really, George Floyd? Oh really? Oh man, that's crazy. San Antonio pediatrician. Dang it. Appointed to Racial Inequality Fellowship. What on earth does it even mean? What does it mean? I don't even care to click it. 6 dead in apparent. See, that's probably, since it popped up first thing, that's probably what's the most important. I think even New York Post agrees. That's probably what's most important, right? Before we get into it, I understand San Antonio is kind of a big city. I'm sure that there's more bigger cities, but there's a lot of different parts to it. This took place, allegedly, reportedly, this took place in Stone Oak region, right? Which I'm kind of familiar with. I actually used to work at a My Fit Foods that was located in Stone Oak, and it's an interesting place. Just to give a brief description, I haven't been there for a while, but pretty affluent place. People have money there, and a good amount of money, and they have decent looking wives. I'm here to tell you. And those decent looking wives will be jogging like in the morning, like at the break of dawn. They'll be jogging and just looking very fit and in shape and stuff. And that's typically what you see in Stone Oak. You might see, I would recall all sort of people, brown people from Mexico coming through Stone Oak and just balling out of control, dude. Some of these Mexicans had a lot of money over there in Stone Oak, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying it's kind of an affluent neighborhood. Maybe not the most affluent, but it's cushy up there. Family of 6 found dead. So, okay, I was gathering the details. We might even click on one of the articles because we have some time. But, okay, from what I understand, these people were found up in an SUV, up in their pretty nice house, probably. That is a long distance shot from like a helicopter or from Google or something of the house. It's pretty big. They got an SUV. And I was taking in details only last night because it's fairly breaking. I think it took place on Wednesday or something like that, maybe Wednesday night. So they're not sure. They're gathering the details. Right? San Antonio family of 6, kind of important, was found all up in their SUV in a garage at home in Stone Oak on Thursday. They were found on Thursday. So they were thinking that maybe this took place on Wednesday. San Antonio police said the call began as a welfare check Thursday morning when the officers were dispatched to a home in the 100 block of Red Willow after a friend of one of the residents notified police that he hadn't heard from him in a while. That's interesting. I wonder what all details are going to come at with us right now. I don't know what all we're going to read. I've read some articles, but probably not this one. Upon arrival, officers entered the home and smelled heavy, noxious fumes coming from inside the residence, and immediately backed out of the house, according to San Antonio Police Chief William McManus. All right, I've seen William McManus a lot, man. That police chief, he gets on camera a lot. Unfortunately, San Antonio can get wild, a wild place where explanations have to be elaborated on for the public, and then out comes William McManus, or perhaps the sheriff, Mr. Salazar. But what's interesting is they point out, and they're probably going to talk about it a little bit more, the heavy noxious fumes. Man, check this out. I have a coworker, and I was hollering at him this morning. I was like, hey, I was like, dude, what if I say Stone Oak? Do you know what I'm talking about? And he's like, yes, I know what you're talking about. This whole calamity. And comes to find out that fella actually lives kind of around Stone Oak. That kind of area, you wouldn't be too far from like reasonable price areas, but there's an area of Stone Oak where, yeah, it's pretty affluent. but he lives probably in a modest area around there, and he got like alerts on his phone. All right, so you're getting secondhand knowledge right here. I talked to the guy who got alerts on his phone, and I didn't, or maybe I did, but I didn't notice it at all. He got alerts on his phone or something. He was like at Church's at the time, Church's Chicken, and they had to like shut down part of their business. Like that particular area went under sort of semi lockdown. Now, this is an incident that can and will happen in your immediate area in a very near future. When I say things like this, people get off put by it. Last night I was talking, I was like, dude, there's going to be a mass shooting in America. It's going to be very big, and it's going to be blamed on white supremacists, and none of it's going to add up, and it's going to happen in a couple of months. And the people around me, they were like, I got to do something else. And they walked away. I was like, I'm just letting y'all know, dude, this is exactly what's going to happen. But they brought it up. It's not like I was bringing it up from out of nowhere. I'm just saying, look, we're being manipulated. All these bricks that you've seen in pallets, everything else, Antifa, this is all being orchestrated through the mass media, and they're doing it over the top ways. Local news, everybody, they're playing into this crap, and they want riots. It's nuts. They've been rioting in San Antonio for no reason. All right, so there's a lot of malaise going on. These people are in an affluent area. I don't know what's the story of these people, but I want to know desperately. This should be on national news everywhere. This should be what everybody's talking about, technically. All right, because it sounds like a disaster. There was all sort of alerts. Church's Chicken was alerted. The different restaurants were alerted because they thought it might be a chemical explosion. All right, they sent in like chemical bomb people or whatever to try to defuse it, this thing, but they actually didn't find that. Anyways, let's check out about the details. Authorities found a note containing military jargon, and this is all reported. I'm not saying that this happened. I'm saying this is what everybody's running with from out of Stone Oak. A military jargon and cryptic message on the front door. Police said officers were able to interpret the note, which they had to interpret it, and it claimed that there were bodies of people inside the home. There were animals in the freezer, and to do not enter. It's like eventually, see, that's all gobbledygook. Anyways, eventually you're gonna have to enter the residence. Obviously, maybe he's just saying for innocent bystanders, you're not gonna like what you find in here. Police were eventually able to enter the garage of the home Thursday evening and discovered the family of 6 dead. McManus said, I don't even know we could say dead on YouTube, but the husband and wife were both in their 30s. It's interesting, man. I'm in my 30s. They're probably my exact age. All right. And I want to talk about that really on a deep note here in a second, but let's get through some of the details. This is what's reported, and reported from damn dirty liars anyways, so don't think that I don't take it for a grain of salt, but I want to hear what you have to say. The husband and wife were both in their 30s, and their 4 children. They have 4 children, 4 ranging from 11 months to 4 years old, so you might be painting yourself a picture. They're found in an SUV in the garage. There's heavily noxious fumes and stuff all over the place. 4 children reportedly between the ages of 11 months and 4 years old. So you're painting yourself a picture. I don't know if you wanted to do that, but I'm just saying reality happens, especially in San Antonio, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen soon. All right? And I don't think there's any benefit in being surprised by it. All right? And no, the news is not going to talk about it. Not too much. They're going to talk about what they want to talk about. But 11 months to 4 years old were all found dead in the vehicle. Police said the victims had not been identified. I don't think they've been identified yet still. And I'm not going to try and figure it out. I'll let them. It's going to come out in time anyways. But there you go. Husband and wife and children. And even the pets, it seems. I'm not even sure where they found the pets, if they were in the freezer or not. I heard that they were in a basket. And I'm like thinking, how long did this even take? What the hell? And I'd read some stuff in this article that I don't know if they're going to bring this up. So I'll see if they do. But if they don't, I'll tell you what else has been reported. 2 cats were also found inside of a basket. Like I said, in a basket, in the vehicle's front seat. So they were not in the freezer. I guess I don't know. Freezer was the first thing on his mind, but I bet you the kids wanted. Oh God, I don't even want to think about it. But can you imagine? Oh God, it's like I mean, even if we don't say what we're speculating, we're still it's still thoughts in our head, regardless, right? This is wild. This shouldn't be happening, right? Probably the cats were in the car that. Oh my gosh! Everybody was staying calm in the car. What was the husband's? The questions only come. So it's like, what was the husband's role in this? What was the wife's role in this? Could you only imagine? Are these people's lives worth it enough to even investigate and figure it out? Even though technologically speaking, probably they have enough evidence to eventually figure it out, whether it takes them months or however long, because they suck at their jobs. They're going to find out exactly who and why and how, and who had a role in what, and how this went down. Or is it even worth investigating, right? Is it even worth investigating? And I say that for any case, no matter what. You know what's interesting? These riots are stupid, right? Real stupid. And they don't make any sense. And people keep conflating them with protesters. The protesters are stupid. But however, that's protected by the Constitution. I fully endorse they want to protest. Hey, that's awesome. Y'all being conflated, and it's been said years ago that y'all were going to get overstepped by some people who are going to take over your movement. All right, they already did it. It's clear and obvious. And they're rioting. And they're trying to blame it on y'all. And it's clear as day and stuff. Meanwhile, people going through all sort of problems. I don't know if this person, I don't know what would possibly be the reason for anybody to speculate and think, oh yeah, I know exactly why this all went down and how come. No, you do not, dude. Not even close. And it's probably going to take months to even get to scratch the surface of this. Right? But to me, it deserves justice. To me, it deserves justice. And what I mean by that is investigation. I don't want some, oh, I think this happened, and oh, I feel like this happened. No, what happened exactly? What led up to everything happening? How can we stop this if we don't reverse engineer it, and I mean investigate it to every last detail? And so when we dwell upon that, perhaps we think in our heads, okay, when the news comes out and they want to say who's guilty, and it doesn't matter who, they want to say this person is guilty, you don't have the details, you don't want the details, you skim over the details, and you want some sort of credit, get all sort of money and notoriety for telling us nothing. And every last one of these stories deserves full investigation, and it's damn ridiculous. Y'all's whole system is ass backwards and we know it, and it's as simple as the sun coming up this morning. Alright, it's very easy to tell. Alright, before we press on any further, we have a few minutes. I want to hear from y'all out there what's really popping in the streets. This is only one example of crazy, off the wall, just ridiculous stuff. But it's not exactly unprecedented in San Antonio. A lot of wild stuff happens, right? So for people, I just say that because I know that wild stuff happens. And so not everything is faked. A lot of stuff is faked. A lot of stuff is staged. And everything is worth being questioned. And they're going to say you're a Nazi for questioning it. It doesn't get more complicated than that. As far as our opinions and our theories, we're going to differ, and it does not even matter. Oh man, I meant to talk about, I don't know who's over in the building or who's going to catch this recording, but I meant to talk about, and I got to talk about it a lot. I need to put the word out, all right, because I want to get dialogues with people, all right, and it's kind of from left field. I know we were talking about stuff and it's all calamity. We were just talking about how stuff's all calamity, right? And what I'm trying to stress is, and everybody knows it, it's a great big divide, and you might call it a civil war, and it is going to happen. And I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm not threatening violence on anybody, and I would hate for that to be a thing that happens. Or I don't endorse that at all. I'm saying the civil war is here. It's been here for a long time, and so it's rearing its ugly face. And certain people absolutely see what we're not talking about. good. I mean, we're talking about good and evil. We are talking about that. But we're talking about very simple concepts. When someone says, "Oh, you don't," but people are black, those and they got black, their skin, they're black, and they have these feelings that you don't understand, and you'll never understand them. That's why we got to do, we got to give them back to the community. We got to, if they want to loot stuff, that's because of their emotions, and we need to because that's justice. And it's like, literally, that's the exact opposite. That's the polar opposite of what the hell I'm talking about ever. I want none of this. Whatever you're talking about is straight up gibberish. Okay, and you want to go around looting stuff? No, 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 no. That's not going to stand for very long, whether or not I like it or not. I'm just here to tell you that's what's obvious, right? So run around. People already been getting killed from riots. Because of the riots, people have been getting killed in the riots. People have been getting brain dead and all sort of stuff. That's not good. But it's a civil war because people have that mentality. And the mentality is exactly what we were just talking about. They want someone to be guilty. They want to hate somebody. And we were coaxed into doing that. We were tricked into doing that. To like, look, focus on this person. Don't you hate them? Look at them. Don't you hate them? And we're supposed to be like, yeah, we hate them. We hate them. And meanwhile, the whole entire time, from day one, it's to get us to hate ourselves. And imprison ourselves and enslave ourselves. And I mean for real. And I mean without guns. And I mean with chains. And I mean the whole, whatever you want to call it, that. I don't know what you call it, but yeah, we're black people and white people, by the way. But just all sort of people in chains on boats and stuff. That barbaric. That's what they want. Right? And they want all their technology too. And they're making their moves. But the trick exists right there, I think, in my opinion. It exists when they get you to believe, especially when they get the masses to believe, that somebody is either guilty or not guilty, even though we don't have all the details. Meanwhile, we've been going through a renaissance, especially on the internet, which is smothered in trolls, and God bless them, I like some of the trolls. We have discovered a system a long time ago. And some people are so much better. Some people are way better than myself, and always will be, in the effort of actually investigating. And I mean, I want the details. I don't want to hear about your feelings ever. I want to know what happened. I want to know because that's how we come to justice. Not because it helps my feelings or anything. It has nothing to do with my feelings. But shouldn't everybody get justice? Shouldn't we get all the details? Or should we just have riots in the streets? If I were to call people monkeys, which I'm not doing, I want to explicitly say that I'm calling nobody monkeys right now. But if I was to do it, and I've heard that from people, if I was to say monkeys, if I were to call those people monkeys, and I'm not, people would assume that I'm talking about certain kind of people. They would just assume even without me saying it. They would assume, and they would assume wrong too, typically. Yeah. They would assume the wrong thing. They would assume something that it's like I can't even bring up on YouTube. That's what they would assume, right? If I'm saying monkeys, which I'm not. They would assume that I'm talking about a certain group of people, and I'm here to tell them I'm not talking about those people, and y'all are stupid. And it's like, okay, at the same time, you came to that assumption even though I didn't say that. And that makes whether or not, see, I don't even believe in racism. I don't even know if we can say that word. I don't believe in that R word, right? But if anyone was that R word, wouldn't you be that R word for assuming that? It's crazy. It's crazy to think about it, right? So as we wind it down, like I said, that's my suggestion for tonight. They want to trick you. Every time somebody's trying to tell you somebody's guilty, ask them the hard questions. Oh, really? They're guilty? Oh, how do you know? Well, how come you're the authority? What? Do you have facts? Who did you get those facts from? No, who did you get the facts from? I want to know I don't want to hear the internet. And so that's what you had to come. You had to come with that attitude. And once you come with that attitude, everything changes for the better, and civil war is over, probably. But there's a lot of people who don't believe that way, and they'll never believe that way. They want you to be guilty, no matter how disgusting they are. And they might be ghouls and goblins, but they want to tell you you're a racist, right? I don't know what else they got for details in this particular article. Let me see this. The fumes that initially caused the officers to exit the home were later identified as carbon monoxide. Oh, really? Oh, y'all some damn geniuses. It's like, uh, all officers have been have been cleared by EMS. Before finding the bodies, officers used drones and a robot inside the residence, and they found that they were initially believed to be possible explosive, McManus said, and the home could be booby-trapped. All right? No explosives were found in the home, McManus said, as I later came to find out. Yeah, there were no explosives. But think about the idea. They were all scared about it. They thought maybe there'd be chemical explosions or something like that. And wouldn't that be disastrous for Stone Oak, the Stone Oak area? And isn't that potentially what something could happen, right? I hope that it wouldn't. A U.S. Army soldier assigned to the 470th Military Intelligence Brigade, Joint Base San Antonio, Fort Sam Houston, was found deceased. And they haven't revealed the names and everything. In due time, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying this is a reported incident that allegedly happened. And dang it, isn't it interesting? Fort Sam Houston was found deceased. June 4th, our hearts and prayers go out to the families of the deceased. Additional information will be released pending next of kin notification. The case is currently under investigation by the San Antonio Police Department and the U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Command. All right, God bless them. I think they'll probably get to the bottom of it. I don't want to keep reading and stuff like that. I think they pretty much said what they got to say. That's very interesting. Now, technically, in the whole scheme of things, we're grains of sand and stuff. It's not gonna mean, you know what I'm saying? It's not something to get freaked out about, and it's definitely not something to have a riot about. All right, but we need to find out. And you know what stands out to me? I got a gut feeling about it. Is that even though it's not necessarily significant, like it wouldn't matter if you ever heard about this, what happened, but I feel like if we investigate it with due diligence and the way that should be proper, and to honor the people, to honor them and find out what happened, I think if we do find out what happened, we're going to find out a whole mess of things that, and not to incriminate, I don't know if anybody's guilty in this whole thing. I'm just saying we're going to find, if we get to the bottom of it, I'm sure we're going to find something that will be something that the deep state, I'm here to tell you, I don't know why I have a gut feeling, but the deep state, if you can even refer to them, Bill Gates, that he would not want you to ever know about. Never, never, never. He never wants you to know about it. And therein lies the key. If we simply investigate any one of these things to its fullest, we're going to see something. Bill Gates. Yeah, that's right. Bill Gates, forever and ever, no matter what. If he changes his name, I don't care. Bill Gates, we're going to know about some stuff that he doesn't want us to know about. Oh, man. And we're going to throw a wrench in his whole little plan. Right? But the thing is, not only him, a whole network of people are causing all sort of calamity. You can tell just as soon as the sun came up. Now George Floyd, I have you know, he died of corona, by the way. Right? And notice they don't want to talk about that. And a lot of people would say, oh, you're insensitive. George Floyd died of corona and is confirmed. So, yeah, maybe putting your knee on his neck didn't help him out at all. But we all know that if you died of a stroke, if you died of a heart attack, if you died because you couldn't breathe, if you died of pneumonia, if you died of this and that, if you died of a fever, if you died of a car accident, if you died of someone putting their knee on your neck and you had corona, well, that means you had corona and you died of corona. And that's just another thing. You're another statistic. Unfortunately, George Floyd, God bless him. I appreciate him. I want it all to be investigated to the fullest. I want to know the nature of his relationship to that guy with his knee on his neck. But unfortunately, he's just a statistic. He's just a statistic now. And just like all the other people, no matter what skin color they had, up in New York, who got maybe their lungs blown out over hours and days and stuff in a torturous fashion, those are just statistics. Those are just people, they're blips in the radar. George Floyd, unfortunately, is not as significant as he used to be. In fact, the riots had nothing to do with him. And the protests literally had nothing to do with justice. And so they made their choice. We have all made our choices, right? But I think we're sussing out We're sussing out the methods by which we do it. The very simple methods. The methods that, I might add, been handed down by God this whole time. Every time. It's the very simple methods. And yet we veer from them and we get ourselves in a terrible fashion. Right? I want to get out of here. One thing that I didn't mention, I also want to see y'all's comments, see what y'all had to say about some stuff. Oh man. Alright, I'm going to mention one thing before we get out of here, and I need to mention it a lot. And it has to do with the Trump bucks. And it has to do with the times we're living in. And it has to do with all sort of calamities spilling out. And it has to do with working together in teamwork and success. It has to do with all those things. But before we get into it, I want to get insight. Very well needed insight from Brenda from Unwrapped by Brenda. She says, I also think there's going to be a mass thing happening. And y'all, that's what's going to happen. We're psychics. Somehow we got telepathy, psychic abilities, me and Brenda. I don't know how we did it. And y'all did it out there too, because I know that you're out there too. And you're predicting the same exact thing. Why? Because it's like fish in a barrel? Because we don't even have to think about it. It just pops up. And meanwhile, it's like, for us, it's simple math. If you ever seen an autistic person who's like it's like a mathematician. And they tell you and they've been out there you tell them any sort of formula or anything to figure out, and Bob, it's in their brain. That's exactly what's happening with us. We're damn psychics, right? And that's what's going to happen. And we're going to be incriminated, and white supremacists are somehow going to be incriminated, and we're all going to be labeled as white supremacists. So we're going to be incriminated. And I mean on a large fashion. I mean they're going to be crying their eyes out. It's so disgusting. Like, a news anchor should never be crying on the news. Ever. That's against the rules. It should be against the law. You should be taken to prison. If you cry on the news, they should take you off and be like, look, we need to get this person behind the camera duties because this is not working out. All right, you can't, but that's what you're going to see. Crying and crying. White supremacy, everybody's white supremacists, and they're out to kill us. And Donald Trump, we got to get him out. We got to get him out. We got to take him out some way or another. So she's Unwrapped by Brenda says military everywhere. Did I ever tell you about the humongous new school that was built here for 115 students, 9 teachers? Our county's new prison. All right, because when you think about it, this building, which I've never heard of it, but we're gonna get, especially on the next broadcast, we're gonna find out. This building, can you imagine? Why would it be humongous and only have 115 students? See, simple questions come to our mind, and yes, and still hypothetically, allegedly, reportedly, and this has come from Brenda, so I think she would know. She's saying that they said it was going to be 115 students in this school, and it's humongous. A person of simple mind and successful would just say, hey, why? No. How can this happen? There needs to be more students. So obviously red flags would come up and be like, what are you even thinking? And red flags would come up and you'd ask questions. I don't know if they were asking questions. I'm sure there were people asking questions the whole time about this specific building, this new school. And could it be converted to a prison? Yeah, a lot of these buildings could be converted into prisons. The economy is struggling and being stifled on purpose, and we all know it. All right, and it's all game, it's all big hoax, and we all know it. All right, and then these buildings, they could serve as prisons, assuredly. Right, that's why it's like a civil war. It's being revealed to us. I don't know if Brenda, I don't know if she's saying this, and trust me, she's not the only one saying it. You know what I'm saying? Because they would kill us all if they could. They can't. All right. So it's too many of us saying these things, and now they gotta try and they're not gonna get us all. Right. So now we're gonna start talking bad. And so Brandon says clearly this is a school, and it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't look like a prison. Isn't it interesting? That being said, the onus is definitely not on Brenda to stop this from happening. This is obviously a plan that was put in, facilitated with all sort of money, right? All sort of people wanting this to happen. So the onus is not on us to stop it. I don't think, that's what I would suggest before we get out of here. it's not on us to stop it. It's going to happen. We need to just talk about the fact that it is happening, and clearly it's happening. And we need to say it as loud as we can, because we're like fishermen of men. Somehow, some way, some people are going to snap out. And yeah, we might be in danger for opening our damn mouths, but the future is going to hear it. It's going to hit their ear holes, and magic's going to happen. And they're going to think, wow, yeah, I don't want to be bent over a barrel my whole entire existence by these people. It's ridiculous. All right? And yeah, that does look like a prison. Oh, isn't it? It's so interesting. It's so convenient. Now you have a prison over there now. All right? But it's not time. It's definitely not time to freak out. Of course, there will be times to relocate yourself, surely. And I'm in the belly of the beast over here in San Antonio. A lot of stuff happening. One thing that I was going to bring up, and of course at the tail end, not everybody's going to see the tail end of the broadcast, but I'm going to bring it up again, and I want to let it be known out there, is I got the Trump bucks. Some of them, like I said, severely reduced. I got a fraction of the Trump bucks. But whatever, it gave me a little bit of a boost. And I appreciate it. And I appreciate that it said Donald Trump on it. All right? Took it straight to the bank. They cashed it immediately. So now I got some funds and stuff, a little bit of a cushion, a little bit of funds. We're in a time that's of desperate opportunity, all right, and change, for sure. And I especially mean over these next few months. I don't even like to talk about, this stuff's going to happen in 5 years, stuff's going to happen in 50 years. I really don't enjoy talking about that. For a while now, it's just been saying like, oh, this is what's going to happen in like a few weeks or in a few months. And I know it because all the steps have been organized, and it's organized crime. That's what it is. It's extremely organized crime is what it is. And so, I've been talking about it. Anyways, like I said, these months they're like, you're going to make or break somebody. And even if it breaks you, that might be what you need to have happen to you. And it might need to be what happens to me. I don't know. If I get broken, maybe that's what needs to have happen to me. I don't know. But it's going to be a time of that, right? So people need to make moves. And the Trump bucks, that's the thing about it. That's like, if you might have benefited from it, that's your last benefit. You're not going to be given anything else. You need to make a move. Somehow, some way with it. If you did get some Trump bucks, all right. Me, there's a couple things, and I already bought some things for the garden, all right, that I needed, and then we're getting the garden so made. In fact, before I go to sleep next, I'm going to be in the garden, building a garden, all right. And I plan to have a couple locations. I'm talking to 2 different people, all right, getting that. I spent a little bit of money on that, which is a good idea. It's a good investment. Hey, man, who's to say if we're going to have to garden those gardens with guns pretty soon? I don't know. We're going to have to invest in guns, all right? So we got that going. Put some money into that. But in the meantime, I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to do it. And God bless y'all for being up in the building. We're about to get up out of here. And God bless y'all's streams and stuff. I got to get ready for work. But, okay, I got a little extra money right now. It's going to be the last of any easy money that I ever get. I know it. So I got to make moves with it. I can't just pay rent. I can't just like, oh, I'm going to put it in savings. No, I got to make moves with it. How? I'm not sure. But the streams that I wanted to have, that I've been wanting to have, because it's more beneficial for everybody, is dialogues between, say, me and Bart Fine. Shout out to Bart Fine out there especially. But other people, be Four Corners Report and everybody else, to have streams and stuff. And we can get that going in a couple of different ways, a number of different ways probably. There's a couple different ways in my head in which, like, for example, was suggested to me by Bart Fine, in which I get a burner phone, a very cheap burner phone, and then put some sort of minutes on it or put some sort of data on it, and then I can receive calls. Then I could put that phone on a speaker. Then I could have this phone, for example, off to the side, and it's recording and live streaming us. All right? Which that might not even be the best idea necessarily, because my phone isn't the best. There's other methods. For example, I had this one little tablet. It's called like a tablet or something, but it's not exactly like a laptop. It's between a cell phone and a laptop. Y'all seen that? Like you get it from Walmart or something. I have a tablet. Perhaps that could get it to where I'm live streaming. And if that's the case, well, I could set up the internet in my apartment. If that's the case, yeah, I do have funds for it, and I could do it. And then I would set up, like, I guess, a Wi-Fi thing in my apartment. I don't like Wi-Fi, but it's still raining on me no matter where I go. I don't like Wi-Fi. I would turn it off when I'm not using it, but when I am using the internet, turn on the Wi-Fi, use the tablet thing, and that would live stream me. Meanwhile, I would have a phone conversation on the phone that I'm talking into right now. And I would talk with a number of people. Like, already I can get on other people's live streams with my phone if they're on Yard Stream or something like that. I can do that, but I could possibly host my own thing on this tablet type of thing that I have. This transgender basically technology that I have. Perhaps I could do it, and that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do more than anything else. The reason is because we don't have time to mess around. I love getting the comments in the comment section, but I want some back and forth, and I want people to really, really say what's on their mind right now. Because it's like time sensitive. Not to be panicked, but it's like not to be lazy either or procrastinate about it. And at certain insights, stuff's going wild. It's very much unprecedented. It's not stuff that we ever really wanted to see, but we're going to see it. And it's going to happen, and we got to operate during these times. Operate using the systems, the very simple systems I would suggest maybe for consideration that were handed down by God the whole time for success. And everybody else is going away from that, and they're dancing around and they're loving lies. They could be quote good people, but they're in love with lies. They love them so much that maybe America doesn't survive this and everything. But when I say America, shoot, I'm talking about a feeling, if you will. Not even a feeling, a responsibility. All right, because we made this, I mean, that's not even we, but people actually made back then this country, and it just, all sort of success blossomed from it. It was all due to God, every last bit of it. They got all corrupt and stuff. That was every bit to do with Satan, every last bit of it. All right, and that's kind of a thing that, yeah, obviously people have forgotten about. There's no choice but to see it. It's all up in our face. And I'll holler at y'all a little bit later. Oh shoot, hold on, wait 1 second. I think we got another contribution. Let's get up out of here. But like I said, yeah, I want to get into that technological stuff, man. And I have a little bit of money right now. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to talk to people about what's the best route to take. I'm not real sure yet. It is right. Okay, man, y'all putting too much right in here at the end. I appreciate y'all, man. All right, I had to get out of here pretty soon, actually. Went a little bit over time, but Rabbi Brenda says it is right around the corner from me. Says it is built like a prison, 2 large gyms. Okay, obviously for the prison yard and everything. Government put $30 million towards people in it, towards it, $30 million towards everything involved in it. People voted for it for the children. Wow, yeah, it's so interesting, so interesting. It's like an interesting situation in which it's like these people, if I had to imagine, they're like, we have authority. We come down and y'all elected us. Trust me, we have all this money. This y'all's money, but we took it and stuff. We're going to make this building and it's going to be for the children. And then all the people were like, yeah, for the children. You're good. We know exactly what you want. And they're like, yeah, for the children. And they're like, yes, for the children. We got all. We're going to make these buildings. Yeah, they look like prisons. Hey, man, if you go to like certain schools around here in this particular area, I got to say they look like prisons, period. All right. And that could be a coincidence, but I don't believe in coincidences. They look like prisons and everybody knows it. Well, let's deal with that. See, if we had authority the way we should, we would come out and see if we had because we were paying all these bills for no good reason. We were paying all these bills trying to maintain our lifestyles, and they were just raking us over the coals the whole time and lying the whole time and trying to put us down and separate us into cages. And they were doing all this, and we were like participating, and now it's like, dude, you can't participate in this. It's crazy. Right? And we know what the hell you're doing. And so it's like back then when people were just being polite and they were like, this large building for no students, for 150 students, this doesn't make no sense. I guess, well, they mean well. These people mean well for us. They came in from the government. They said, hey, we're here to help you out. And so might as well just let them build prison-style buildings. I don't know. We got also from Rabbi Brenda. She said that would be cool. Said, have a good night. Oh, man, I don't even know what we're referring to. But something I said would be cool. And I appreciate you. And I want y'all to have a good night, especially. out there. I mean, I really mean it. A good night. And I said it to you. I feel guilty about procrastinating about these things. Here's the thing, man, to bring it back to Takashi 69. Alright, and some people might think I'm obsessed, but we need to get out of here. And so to wind it down, he can't control his personality. I can't control my personality, really. And it's interesting to think that I could. I don't know, maybe people out there can, but I would suggest that they can't. And so the procrastinating, that's kind of like built into our personality, in a sense. And it's not to say that it's not bad. Yeah, it is kind of bad. But the fact that we know it's bad is more than half the battle, I think. If we didn't know it was bad, then we'd be lost. If we didn't already know it was bad, then how lost would we be? The fact that we know that it's bad, I think, means the world. It means the world of difference. Alright, and pretty soon, it's interesting. It's about timing. I think to me, timing is everything, and we can't get real deep into it because I want to get out of here right now. But let's just say everything is timed out exactly perfectly. And all those things that you never did, that you were like, oh man, I should have done it, but I procrastinated, that you were not meant to do those things at all. Those things were not even meant to get done. But you might still be thinking about them. Or maybe you have some like other different thoughts in your head, or like ideas. You need to do those. That's what you've been called to do. And all those other things that you thought about doing, it's like, man, you weren't supposed to do those things. You literally weren't supposed to do them. And that's why you didn't. You got things in your head now that you're called to do. And you know that you are. It's becoming very simple. And everybody has got their own thing to what to do. We do our own individual thing, and it comes together under the body of Christ, or whatever you would call it out there. All right, under God. Come out. We got these things. We got these skills. And they're built into us somehow. We didn't do it. We got built into us these skills and these awarenesses of what's going on around us, that in that right time, in that time when something needs to get done, a certain something, when nobody can do it, in fact, nobody would be willing to do it but you or me or whoever it is, these young kids out here, they're going to stand up when nobody could have done it but them. Nobody. I think that's what I want to stress, is that in that moment in time, you're going to know when it's the right time, because literally nobody can do this. Nobody else. They don't have the skills. They don't have the background. They don't have the insight given by God. They might have the insight, but it's just such a specific point in time when only you can step forward and do this thing that you already knew you're going to do. It's already in your head. And it's made so simple. Alright? And people out there looting and robbing, raping and killing. It's terrible. Stand against that. And stand for America, no matter how destroyed America might be. We appreciate that. And shout out especially to the man Donald Trump. I appreciate it. And Cynthia Bram. All sort of people we forgot. And especially Brenda. And especially Bart Fine. Anyways, I'll holler at y'all. Maitre Mark, everybody else, Big Paul, everybody. I appreciate you. I forget everybody's names, but it's a lot of y'all out there. Angela Tate, by the way, and all the people throughout the ages. Alright, I'm gonna get off of here if I can figure out how to do it. I appreciate y'all. You have a good night. And I appreciate y'all. It's June the 5th, 2020. And let's go ahead and make your move. I'll holler at you, and I want you to holler back at me.